It's the end of the year and I've got 5 questions to help you think about what worked well this year and what didn't, and 5 questions to help you make sure that next year is your best ever year of English study. So grab a coffee, grab a pen and paper, and let's get started. If you're new to this channel, my name is Colin. I'm an English teacher with over 20 years of experience, and on this channel I give you tips and advice to help you achieve your English goals. So first, we're going to look at 5 questions to help you reflect on your studies this year. So the first question I've got for you is, what mistakes did I frequently make and how have I improved on them? So if you've watched my other videos, you will know that I believe mistakes are an opportunity to learn, an opportunity to grow. If you're not making mistakes, you probably aren't pushing yourself hard enough. So think about some pronunciation issues you might have, maybe some grammar that you struggle with. Is there something that you're not 100% confident with? Okay? And think about, what have you done to fix that? So for me, it's reflexive verbs in Spanish. I still can't get my head around that. It's something that's very different to English, but it's something that I know I really need to work on. So whatever it is that you are struggling with, think about, what have you done to actually try and fix it? If you don't try and fix it, it's not going to change. The second question I've got for you is, which materials and resources helped me the most this year? So think about apps, maybe think about courses that you took or podcasts that you listen to, YouTube channels perhaps. What worked well for you and why do you think they were helpful? So reflecting on this will help you think about your learning style. Everyone has a slightly different learning style. It's important to think about what has been working well for you. And alternatively, what hasn't been working well. So maybe something you've put a lot of time and energy into, but you're not getting the results back. So take a moment to reflect on that. The third question in this section is, what learning activities did I enjoy the most and why? You have to remember, enjoyment is really connected to motivation. If you enjoy what you're doing, you're more likely to turn up tomorrow and do it again. So think about how you can find enjoyable activities that will help you maintain your study routine. Sometimes you're going to have to do the hard work, sit down and do grammar exercises, but you need to kind of balance that with more enjoyable activities, the things that are going to keep your motivation high. So it could be watching movies, it could be a weekly conversation class that you have, or an exchange partner that you talk to, or even just playing language games. Duolingo could be the thing that you really find enjoyable and keeps you coming back day after day. So think about the activities that you enjoy and why. The fourth question I have for you is, which skill did I improve most this year? It's really important that you celebrate your wins, okay? So think about your achievements through the year. This is going to help you build confidence. Learning a language takes a long time and it's hard. So take some time, give yourself a little pat on the back for all your hard work this year. And think about what exercises or study methods really helped you to improve this skill, okay? So we want to take what has been working well and keep using it next year. The last question in this section, and I think the most important one, is, how consistent was I with my study habits? What could I have done better? Consistency is so important for language learning. Languages take a long time to learn. And you need to ask yourself, did I stick to my plan? Did I stick to my routine? Or did I really struggle to find time for language learning this year? Ask yourself, how well did I manage distractions this year? Okay? Think about how you can make your English study more sustainable. It would be great if we could sit down every day and do 4 hours of study, but that's unrealistic for many of us. You need to find a balance where things are more sustainable. If you're serious about making 2025 your best year of English, take one of the questions and write your answer in the comment section below. I would love to hear your plans. So now we have 5 questions to help you plan for the year ahead. The first question I have for you is, what is my main goal for learning English next year? A goal is going to give you some direction. And I think it's really important that you have some direction in your English study. It could be a very specific goal, for example, an exam that you want to pass, or it could be a more broad goal like improving your conversational fluency. If possible, try to make this goal measurable, okay? For a test or an exam, that's very, very clear. I want this mark in my test. That's very obvious. But what about something like improving conversational fluency? How do you measure that? Well, there are actually ways that you could measure that. So maybe you want fewer pauses in your speech. Maybe you want to use a broader range of vocabulary, or you want to be more accurate in grammar. Or maybe you just want to be more relaxed or more confident when you're speaking. All of these are things that you might try to measure if you want to improve your conversational fluency. One thing that I really want to try next year is, instead of having one big goal for the year, I'm going to choose 4 smaller goals and spread them out throughout the year. So I'm going to take 12 weeks at the start of the year for one goal, and then the next 12 weeks I will choose a different goal, and then the same for the next 12 weeks and the next 12 weeks. So 12 weeks multiplied by 4 is 48 weeks. That gives you 4 weeks off. But I think 12 weeks is a nice amount of time. It's long enough to make serious progress in a goal, but it's also not too long that you will get bored or frustrated. So 12 weeks allows you to really sit down and focus to get your goal done. Question 2 in this section is, how much time can I spend studying English each week? It's important that you are honest about your schedule. So look at the things that you have to do. So work, family commitments, exercise, all of these things that you know that you have to do each week that are non-negotiable. And then think about the gaps. Where can you fit in your language study? So think about how you can balance your English study with your life. If you try to do too much in your English study and you fail to do that, then you're going to start feeling bad, thinking that you're not good enough or something is wrong, and you might give up in your English study goals. So be realistic. Look at all the things in your life that you have to do and where you might be able to fit English in around those things. Again, the importance here is sustainability. One thing that you might want to try is, at the end of each week, sit down for 20 minutes and think about how your English study has gone this week, okay? Did you achieve everything that you wanted to achieve? Did you manage to sit down for all of the study sessions that you wanted to do? Or do you need to make some adjustments? Okay, so this is going to help you look towards next week and try to have a better week. So it's just 20 minutes at the end of each week to reflect and prepare for the week that's coming. It's also a good time to try to connect with your bigger goals, like those 12-week goals that I mentioned. The third question I have for you is, which skills, so listening, reading, speaking, writing, do I want to focus on the most? So you want to try to use your time efficiently. So you might try to focus on your weaker skills. Okay, so if speaking is something you struggle with, you might want to dedicate more time to practicing speaking. Same goes for writing, reading, listening. Okay, you might also try to focus on your goals. So what is your goal for this 12-week period, and maybe focus a bit more energy and try to have a little bit of a sprint over 12 weeks to try to really develop that skill. But remember that working on one skill can actually improve another skill. So the more reading you do, the better your writing will probably get, because you're seeing lots of good examples of written English. And the same goes for listening and speaking. The more listening practice you do, the more likely you will be able to repeat those kind of words and phrases in your speaking. Okay, so sometimes focusing on one skill can actually help you develop another skill. Question number 4 here is, how can I make English part of my daily life? So this is really important, especially if you live in a country where English is not commonly used. So immersion is going to help you improve faster. And if you don't live in an English-speaking country, you might have to work hard to create an immersive environment where you surround yourself with English. And there are many things you can do to try to create that atmosphere. So you could try switching your phone to English. It's something that you interact with many times each day. And if that's in English, that kind of language is going to start to sink into your mind. You could listen to English music. You could talk to yourself in English. I've got some students who are doing this just now and they're finding it really helpful. It's just giving them that repeated practice so that when they do have a real conversation, they're a bit more confident. You could also try reading a short article every morning during your commute, or maybe listen to a podcast when you are exercising. These kind of small daily habits will help to create this immersive environment for you. Finally, question 5 is, who can support me on my learning journey? Learning a language can be quite a lonely experience. Lots of time sat with a textbook or looking through a dictionary. It's important to try to find people who are going to support you. So support can come from teachers. It could be language partners or friends who are also interested in learning English. It could be an online community. This is something that is much more common these days. Find people around the world who have the same interest, the same goals that you do. So having somebody to practice with, or somebody who's going to check on your progress, is really going to help you with your motivation. And something I would really recommend is, if you have a friend or somebody that you can talk to who is already quite fluent in English, sit down with them and ask them what they did to achieve that level of fluency. They've done it. They know what it takes. They know the hours, they know the methods, they know the resources. So sit down with them and try to get all of the things that they have learned from their experience of learning English. So take some time, sit down with a pen and paper and write out your answers to these questions. Progress is going to come from thoughtful planning and consistent effort. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to subscribe for more tips to help you succeed in your English journey. Let's make 2025 the year that you achieve your English goals.